So just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do. Unmute yourself. Let me,
All right, I'm John Sanders, and I am what am I? I'm a specialist in small companies and entrepreneurs and startups, and I help strategize. And if I like the strategy, I'll invest in it. So I'm always, and I call myself a hobby investor, which means I do it because I want to do it. Don't have any pressure on me to do it, and I'm not an angel, so I don't have to report to anybody.
Perfect. And John Beethan, if you want to just introduce yourself real quick.
John Beethan, Heard Not Seen Media, a podcasting company. Newly formed, actually.
Nice.
So
how are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, got a lot of really good stuff here for you guys today, and then we've got trying to make sure I could see everybody's faces here or see what everybody's name is. Here we go. Because we've got this nice young lady here, but I can't see her name. In the white shirt.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Now it's Gunilla DeSanto.
Yeah, Gunilla DeSanto. Yep.
And if you just want to introduce yourself real quick, just so I can get familiar with everybody who's on the call.
Sure. So I'm the co-owner and creative director of S&G Studios. And what we are is we're a creative services company and branding agency that helps small and mid-sized businesses tell the world who they are, what makes them special, and why they should be hired. We achieve this through storytelling, which is the foundational part, we feel, branding, design, and content creation.
Perfect. And then I've got one more. Yeah, until it like unmutes, it doesn't even let me ask who this is. Got another picture of a young lady right here in the black.
Oh, that's me.
Vanessa Montero.
Vanessa. Okay.
Hi there. So I'm my name's Vanessa. So I'm with the company we're called Next Work. We're located here in Carlsbad. We do software solutions, so app development, web development, e-commerce, all of the above.
Cool. And my good friend Carl Stryker here.
Hey, Aaron.
I don't even have to see your name. I just already saw it. I already know who you are.
Very good. My name's Carl Stryker, and I am, I'm on the ambassador committee. I'm on the board with the chamber, and I am with Prime Lending. I do home loans, refinance, and purchase business for residential 1 to 4 units. Just trying to make home loans the way they're supposed to be, easy.
Perfect. And then I got Morgan. I'll just have you do an introduction here, and you could even stay unmuted if you want.
I am a brand developer with GoBeRewarded. I am hired to help expand Gobi down the coast, so Carlsbad, Oceanside, and all the way down. And then Aaron will describe what we do.
Okay, so yeah, and then anybody who wants to come in on the call, just make sure you know, Kathy will just have you let them in, you know, as they're coming in. So I will give you a quick overview of the company. You know, GoBeRewarded. We do websites, social media, video, Google ads, and blogging for about 115 businesses here in San Diego County. You know, we've been members of the Carlsbad Chamber for quite a while. I actually knew Brett when he was the Vista Chamber CEO pretty well. And we're located here in Vista. And I usually like to say there's 3 things that make our company a lot different than most other marketing companies. One, we only work locally. So, you know, a lot of our business owners get to meet with us face to face. I get to send my in-house photo and video crew out to all of the projects that we do. And then secondly, all of our work's done in-house. We don't subcontract anything we do. So I've got about a 12-person technical staff that works here in Vista. And it's nice because the small business owner doesn't have to, you know, find 5 or 6 different people to, you know, execute their project for them. And then also keeps our prices pretty low too, because we don't have to have any markup, you know, between agencies or, you know, between having to subcontract people or anything like that. And then lastly, work as a team. So I usually like to say, you know, you can find the world's best branding person, the world's best videographer, the world's best web designer, and the world's best social media guy. But you're not going to actually get them all to work together and execute your projects. So the nice part about us is these guys have executed hundreds of projects, for small business owners here in San Diego County working together. So that's just something that, I think we can tout that very few agencies can. So I wanted to start off today, get started with the presentation. Digital is the new word of mouth. So I'm pretty sure, especially with, this has actually been the case, I would say, for the last 5 years to a decade or so, that digital is the new word of mouth. The whole coronavirus thing just accelerated all of these points. 5 years ago, I was talking to people about, how their business should have a website. Now that's not even the discussion anymore, is whether they should or shouldn't have a website. It's, how good of a website should you have? How much advertising should you be doing? Everything like that. And I'd say, ways that coronavirus really, accelerated a lot of this is, I had a lot of people 6 or 7 months ago, come to me and say, hey, we've already been in business 20, 25 years. I've been running my flooring business just fine. We're just word of mouth. We're doing okay. The unfortunate part is a lot of that word of mouth has dried up ever since March, for a few reasons. One, a lot of people are spending more time on their devices. They're searching for people, trying to get things that way. But also, just realistically, you're not smoking and joking with the cashier at Winco anymore about how you're remodeling your kitchen cabinets. And he does kitchen cabinets. You should give him a call. That's not happening anymore. They're sitting behind a plexiglass screen with a mask on. They're not asking you, where do your kids go to daycare, or where's the birthday party for the little one? That stuff just isn't going on anymore. You're not meeting some guy. I got a client one time because one of my other clients was sitting at the car wash with, washing his truck, and they were just like, who did the branding for you guys? And I ended up getting a client off it. Those things don't happen anymore. It's mostly online is going to be the way you're going to get that done. So, when we're talking about, digital being the new word of mouth, when we're saying digital, it's going to be talking about your full online presence. And your online presence is not just your website. It is not just your Facebook. It is not just your branding. It's actually going to be a three-legged stool, so, by the idea of a three-legged stool, you take away one of those legs, the other two don't even work. So, I get a whole bunch of people come to me and saying like, oh, I was already running Google ads, or I was already running Facebook ads, and it didn't do anything. And like I said, it's a three-legged stool. If you don't have the other two parts of it, you may as well not even be doing it at all. So, the three hot topics I would say that are part of those three pegs on that stool are going to be branding, on-page and off-page SEO, as well as paid advertising. And I think the paid advertising is a really big piece, especially when you're talking about local small businesses here. So I'm going to be spending roughly about 10 to 15 minutes on each one of the legs of the stool here. And then, I'm going to take some questions at the end. But if you guys have any really good questions, or you don't want to forget your question, just type it in the chat, and I'll have, Morgan go through that for you. So first thing I want to talk about is branding, because that's going to be kind of the first stop on this train here. So, when we're talking about branding, the reason why that, branding in and of itself, it's kind of like having a bunch of business cards. It's not going to get you business. Just because I've got 500 business cards sitting in my drawer right here doesn't mean, they're generating business for me. But they're going to really set the stage for everything else you're going to be doing online. Because if you have your website looking one way and your messaging one way on your website, and then your Facebook ads are completely, separate from a branding and messaging standpoint, they may as well be two separate entities. They're not even working together and feeding each other. So, you want to make sure that, you have your logo, you have your colors, you have, even the same font, because at the end of the day, your eyes are going to tell a lot more than what you're going to be reading. So, even when someone's going down your website, they're going through your ads, someone shouldn't even have to see your logo or they just shouldn't even have to, watch the ad, and they should be able to know that is your company. Just even if I always hate it when, I see a website or something like that, and I'm like, I could have switched the logo from American Plumbing to, Carl's Plumbing, and no one would know the difference. And, another big part of the branding is not just, of course, your logo, your colors, making sure that's all the same as well, is you also want to make sure that you have really good photos, because keep in mind, everybody else, if you want to stick out in today's world with, everybody online, everyone else is using those same 5 stock photos from Google that you are. So especially if you're in business services, but you can see even here, for this, for this dental place in Escondido that we recently did, you want to make sure you have really good photos of the people and what the clients can expect. And then also another big part of your branding is going to be your call to action, making sure that call to action is going to be consistent across the board for you guys. Because, you don't want you don't want to be measuring your digital efforts off of how many calls that you get when your website, your ads and everything like that say, hey, send me an email, sign up for my newsletter or anything like that. Pick a call to action, and that is part of your brand. Even if your call to action is, a silly catchphrase or something like that, stick with that across the board, because then you're going to be able to track and measure things a lot better. And I think, part of your brand, even though I'll go a little bit more into tracking when we get to the ads piece, but I think tracking actually does go a little bit into your branding, because you want to make sure that you're consistently tracking across the board. You don't want to, because branding is 100% about consistency. And I think tracking is going to be a really big part of that. Whether you're tracking phone calls, tracking Google Search Console, your analytics, your email, whatever that may be. So, making sure that, so before we get into anything else, make sure that your branding is 100% on point, or else, your SEO and your advertising will be basically worthless. If you have inconsistent branding, or if you have non-genuine branding, like I said, if you have a whole bunch of pictures of some, stock model, with long flowing hair, doing mortgages on your website, Carl, sorry, man, like that, you don't got Fabio hair. You can't have that on your website. So you want to make sure that you build client expectations through branding and you stay consistent. And so that's going to be probably the quickest one here. So the next thing I want to get into is going to be your on-page and your off-page SEO, and why that's so important. And then if you guys are interested, I can have Morgan run a report for you guys. It does take a little bit about your on-page and your off-page SEO. But again, a lot of things, even when you're talking about SEO, it's going to go back to branding, and then, it's going to go into ads. A lot of these things, they work with each other. Like I said, it is a 3-legged stool here. So when you're talking about your SEO and your citations, a lot of people say like, hey, I hired an SEO company and it didn't do anything for me, or I didn't get any business off of it. And, they charged me a whole lot of money. Well, again, they're not doing the 2 other legs of the stool. They're just doing the SEO piece, and they wonder why they don't get any business. But, SEO, I think, is going to be the most, I would say, nebulous piece of this stool. SEO can mean a lot of things. It can mean, press releases. It can mean backlinks. It can mean citations, social media. It can mean reviews. It can mean your on-page stuff when you're talking about H1 tags, title tags, meta descriptions, your page load speeds, image optimization. And also keep in mind too, when you're talking about, and like I said, Morgan can make a report if you have any concerns about your friend's website, your website, anything like that, how these things are. But also keep in mind, these things change all the time. So 2 years ago, somebody could have said, hey, you know what you need to do to improve your SEO? This, and this is the most important. And 6 months later, it could completely change. A lot of these things, now granted, they don't change day to day or anything like that. But I'd say if you're looking quarter to quarter, especially when you're in a very competitive industry like mortgages or something like that, those things can change all the time as to what people are looking up, what keywords are relevant, or anything like that. So, a lot of those things are going to go. A lot of when you're talking about your on-page and your off-page SEO. On-page SEO, all that means is what your website says to Google. Because a lot of people get confused on that. So on-page SEO, what your website says to Google about your business. So the first place that Google is going to look for any sort of information about your business is going to be in what is called your title tag and your meta description. Most people aren't looking at that, but the reason why your title tag and your meta description are so important, and I'll be able to show you what that means. So let's say people are looking at your title tag and your meta description. Even if I look at let's say Carlsbad. Okay, so the reason why your title tag and meta description are so important. So let's say we're looking at this right here. So this is your title tag, what's in blue, and it can usually be about 64 characters long. And it's the first place Google is going to look for. Your information about your company. So you can see in their title tag, I looked up mortgages Carlsbad, and it says Carlsbad CA mortgage lender, cross-country mortgages. And you can see that's under 64 characters. It fits within what Google's looking for. And then it looks at your meta description, which can be 165 characters. And you can say, it says, look, so it says the word mortgage and it says the word Carlsbad right there. So if you want to show up for mortgages Carlsbad, you want to make sure that you have this, that somewhere in your title tag and your meta description. And like I said, well, there's the ads piece of it, and we'll be talking a little bit more about ads later. But that is why that piece is so very important. So, all right.
Ouch.
What? Oh, hey.
That was back to you, Aaron. Ouch. Thanks for pulling that.
Yeah. But it's sorry I'm talking about mortgages here so much, but it's we actually just recently had a mortgage client, and we're doing an awesome job for them. So it is something that's just relevant for the company. So once you get past your title tag and your meta description, Google is going to be looking at what's called your heading tags, and heading tags are going to be basically at the top of a page. Usually you'll see a word, a phrase, and it's usually bolded and underlined. And that is telling Google, hey, this page right here is talking about refinancing, or it's talking about swim spas, or it's talking about, it's talking about hydroponic planting, whatever that is. So now it's telling Google, this page is all about hydroponic planting. If someone's looking for hydroponic planting in Carlsbad, it's going to be more likely to show up. That page is going to show up. So your heading tag is basically telling Google, hey, this page is all about this. And so making sure that, most people, they don't even have heading tags set up on their site. So making sure that if you have that type of information, a lot of people look at keywords, but it's also where are those keywords? So if those keywords are in your title tag, your meta description, and your H1 tags or your heading tags, that's going to be important. Then Google's actually going to go through and look at all the other stuff. Like under that heading tag, does it talk about why, Carlsbad, I'm just making up a place here, or hey, why Dimension One Spas over in Vista has the best selection of swim spas under that heading tag, swim spas. And then we talk about all their swim spa models, underneath that. And that's where it's going to get those keywords from. And then it's also going to look into things like, how fast your page loads, how good is it on mobile? Basically, do you have things like a schema markup? Do you have a sitemap analysis? Do you have all these things that, it's like 100-point inspection like you get on your car. It's very similar to your website. Google's going to look through all those things, and then doesn't just look through all those things. It looks at how are you compared to your competitors. If you make custom buttons out of tin can lids or something like that, and you have a horrible website, you'll probably show up if someone's looking like custom buttons out of pop bottle tops. And you're in Carlsbad, you'll probably show up really well. But if you're like a real estate agent, if you're, if you're selling anything retail, if you're, a home services person like an electrician, or if you're an accountant for business services, anything like that, and you're in the field with everyone else, you need to have all these things on point. And then, so that's on-page SEO. So everything about your website, what your website says to Google is on-page. Then Google is going to look at your off-page SEO. So off-page is what everybody else says about your company. So why is this important? Because Google wants to be able to cross-reference information, because you could talk all great about yourself all you want, but if Google doesn't have other sources to back that up, that's going to be that's not going to look very good for you. So how can you get better off-page SEO? So first thing I look at is what's going to be called your citations. So citation is going to be, and this is something too where actually Morgan can run these reports pretty quick if you ever want to look at one, but essentially it's going to be, what does not just your Google My Business say about your business when it talks about name, address, phone number, but it's going to be, what does Yahoo say? What does Bing say? What does Facebook say? What does the Yellow Pages say? What does MapQuest? I know you haven't heard that one. What does MapQuest say? There's actually about 85 different websites that have your business's information listed, and you'd be surprised. You might update Google, you might update Bing even. You might even update Facebook, but there's going to be 82 other websites that say you're at your old address, you're using a different phone number, that have a different website address, that have different menu information. And when Google has conflicting information, it's basically going to just send you to the 10th page of Google, like automatically. So the first thing you can do is fix all of your citations, right away. And then once you're talking about off-page SEO, that's when reviews, come into play as well. A lot of people don't think reviews are incredibly important when it comes to SEO. I think they are important, but they're just a smaller piece of the pie, in my opinion. Press releases. Hey, if you're, in the North County Daily Star and you have an article written about how Carl Stryker is, the top, lone guy in Carlsbad or something like that, Google looks at stuff like that. So if you can get mentioned in local publications, press releases are going to be a pretty big part of that. Your social media activity, so how often are you posting? And then, other types of backlinks where, hey, you know what a great backlink is, and a lot of people don't know about it, is actually if you're on the Carlsbad Chamber directory, that's an excellent backlink. If you're on the Vista Chamber directory, chamber directories, having your website on those are great backlinks. And the more of those backlinks you have, the better the off-page SEO that you are going to have. So, let's see. Okay, so that is just going to be talking about advertising. So that is, and I know that's good. That's not a very fun discussion to have about SEO. It's very nebulous. There's a lot out there. And like I said, if you have any other questions about it, be sure to send Morgan your information, and she'll be able to run some reports. Or if you have a buddy who has, a question, or you think he might have a question about this, please send your information over to Morgan so she can run some reports on this piece for you. All right, so now we get to probably the more controversial part of the presentation, something that a lot of small business owners don't want to do, or people may not advocate for. People have wasted loads of money on this piece and not gotten the results they wanted. And, I always like to say, when someone says, hey, I did Google advertising, I did Facebook advertising, I did some sort of advertising in the past and it didn't work, especially when you're talking about Google and Facebook, I would say that is tantamount to somebody saying, hey, I went to the gym last year and it didn't work. There's a lot of things that go into that. What did you eat? How often did you go to the gym? Did you just, go to the gym and not actually work out? What are those different things? So Google and Facebook are the two main advertising platforms. that I recommend for small businesses here in San Diego County. I know some people talk about Twitter, some people talk about LinkedIn, people, I would say that if you're talking about a local small business here in San Diego County, the two relevant ones are going to be Google and Facebook. And so why do you have to be advertising as part of your online presence or to be part of the digital new word of mouth? So you can have this awesome branding, which is going to be great. You can get a new website, you can get the top, you can have the coolest looking logo, the best colors, it can all flow just perfectly, and that's great. You could have great SEO, and also keep in mind, SEO is going to take a while. That's one thing I didn't mention before. Even if you did all that stuff I was just talking about in the SEO stuff today, you're going to be looking at 3 to 6 months to actually be seeing any sort of difference in your traffic or things getting picked up. Advertising is going to make sure the really nice part about advertising, unlike SEO, is advertising is also scalable. So once you figure out what works with advertising, then you can always increase the budget and do more of it. If you're saying, hey, I want to do Google ads and I want to get 10 new appointments a month off of Google ads, and that's going to be a $500 ad budget. And if you say, hey, I just hired a new technician, I want to get 20 new appointments this month, we'll just increase that ad budget to $1,000 and you should be roughly about where you want to be. So that's why advertising services, advertising campaigns in general, it's going to drive the traffic you need to make that branding, to make that SEO, to make everything worth it. You're going to have to run ads as a small business. If you're a bigger business, if you have national exposure, anything like that, that might be a whole different ball game we're talking about. But here's why advertising is so important. And a lot of people, say, hey, I do Facebook I've done Facebook in the past. And I would also recommend that you have a professional do advertising for you. So I'm going to give you a great idea here. So you can see here, this is my buddy Jeff. He recently signed on with us, and we just started running ads for him a couple weeks ago. But you can see he did a little video here on Facebook, and this is very similar when somebody's saying, hey, I went to the gym last year and it didn't work. So you can see that he did a video, and it's a very informative video, talking about PMI and everything like that. And you can see it reached 300 people and he got 8 people to engage with it. So you can see here, he's also running his Facebook right here. He got a cool little stock photo here of a very, I would say a very inclusive group here of young and old and different races and everything like that, all eating dinner, and it's talking about employee appreciation. That is a very diverse office. He was apparently eating at somebody's house. That doesn't even look like an office. You've got an inspirational quote. You got to love these inspirational quotes. They were so cool back in 2012, and they don't do anything for you right now. You can see 2 people engaged with it, nothing. And so this is when someone says, hey, I've tried Facebook and it doesn't do anything. And keep in mind, he was also running ads. He was boosting these posts, and so you can see we did a little logo for him here, reached a few people. And then, he switched to Caliber Home Loans. You can see we did a nice little headshot for him there. So we're getting things ready. And you can see he did a post here. He talked about how some lady got in a new house. That's awesome. Talking about Caliber ranks. Again, 180 people reached, 6 engagements. Same update with that lady with the house. And there you go. Once you actually do an ad correctly and you have your branding down, you have your SEO down, because keep in mind that branding and SEO is going to get your relevancy score high. This was a $20 ad we ran, and you can see the difference. 13,000 people reached, over 1,500 engagements. But again, if you have those 2 other legs of the stool on point, you can run Facebook ads for cheap, and they work incredibly well. But it's when you have horrible branding and horrible SEO and your website stinks, you're going to have to spend an arm and a leg on Facebook ads, and they're not going to actually do anything. And then you can see here, again, these posts, this is like a $5 or $10 ad that we ran. Jeff ran that himself. But you kind of get the point here. we just started running another ad for him today there, but you can kind of get the point on that. So now, that's Facebook ads. So when we talk about something like Google ads, so for Google ads, a lot of people think, oh, Google ads are incredibly expensive. Well, of course they're incredibly expensive when you run them incorrectly and you don't have those two other legs of the stool. So, we could talk about, organic SEO and everything all day and night, but the nice part about this, so if we're looking at something like, which campaign am I on here? Display intent, roofer. Okay, so we have a roofing and solar company here, Cosmic Solar. Some of you guys may have heard of them. So you can see last month when we ran their advertising, 19 and a half, so close to 20,000 people saw that ad. And out of those 20,000 people, we had about 250, a little more than 250 people click on it. The average cost per click on that was $3.49. And then the number of conversions, they got 33 people to either submit a form or make a phone call to their company out of that. So, and then we could see average cost per conversion. But you can see that those 263 people would probably have not found them organically. So they got another 250 people to go to their website, and let's say they got another couple hundred to go there organically. Again, you're going to see those results a lot faster through advertising. And also when you do advertising as well, just to give you an idea, let's say we go all time on this. So if you're looking at number of clicks, average cost per click, cost per conversion. So you can see, if you're running ads correctly, ads, they take a little while to get down right. But you can see the first time we were running ads for them, it cost them $321 the first month that we worked with them to get a phone call about solar. Now, if we look at last month, their average cost per conversion was $42. And the month before that, it was 36. But things are getting, especially with the heat and everything like that, people staying home, things are getting a little more competitive. But, if you have these ads running correctly, you're going to get, you can see that last month, they had about 1,300 visitors to their website during that time. So, getting that traffic through Facebook ads and through Google ads is going to be very important, because if you're just doing it through branding and through SEO, it's going to take forever to get to where you need to go. So yeah, I think the ads piece is going to be what really throws the nail on the fire. So to kind of give you guys a quick overview of what we just talked about, first thing I always like to see, whenever it comes to somebody working on their online presence, is going to be branding. So I'm going to actually give you guys a quick video here, because one of the pieces of branding I didn't mention is going to be video. It's 2020 already. If you guys don't have a video that talks about your company, what you do, how you do it, who you're looking to work with, if you guys, I would recommend that you guys either do get a brand video, and so people can share it, people can see what you do, how you do it, who you're looking to work with, or you get a time machine and go back to 2015 when it wasn't relevant anymore. So whichever one's going to be easier to build. So actually, I'm going to show you the video. I don't even think she's seen this yet, John, but we just finished this video. This is the first draft, but for Big Pictures results, and she's a Carlsbad Chamber member, and I know that, I think she's the most recent Carlsbad Chamber member we've worked with here. But yeah, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you even a better one. So this is a brand, Lovely Little Ladies. They do salon services and parties for little girls. So I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. But yeah, it's a 2-minute video saying what you did, what it is you do, how you do it, who you're looking to work with. Can everybody hear? Thumbs up. Okay.
I can't
No,
hear.
you can't hear it?
No.
When you share the screen, you got to tick the box to share the sound as well.
Okay, let me see. I thought I did, but optimize screen share for video clip. Can you guys hear this?
No.
Nope.
No. Oh man. All right, let me see here. I'm gonna unshare and then reshare. I see. Yeah, share computer sound, optimize screen for video clip, advanced maybe.
No, it shouldn't be that different, actually.
Yeah, portion of screen. Files. Okay, so. Nope. Okay. Now it's being weird.
Do you want me to try to pull it up?
Yeah, if you could try to pull it up, that'd be awesome. And then you could share your screen. And you can really pick any brand video you want, but Lovely Little Ladies is fun. Here we go. I can't hear that for some reason. There we go. And full screen it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda, the owner of Lovely Little Ladies Salon, Spa, and Celebrations. We're located in Carlsbad, California. We normally service our San Diego County, our Riverside County, Orange County areas. Lovely Little Ladies is a salon, it's a spa, and it's a celebration. We do event planning for girls ages 4 to 18. We specialize in spa services. However, they can come in and get their hair done, they can have facials, they can have manicures and pedicures individually as well as in spa parties. You have an option for 3-hour servicing or 2-hour servicing, and it just depends on how many of the products that you're receiving. We have the on-the-go parties, which means we'll come to you. And when we come to you, it can be at any location. It could be a church, it could be the beach, it could be your residence. When we come to you, you have several packages you can select from. Out of those packages, you're able to choose services like facials, manicures, makeup, and hair. Now, if you come to us, there's one additional service you can choose, and that's pedicure. Some examples of where you can have a spa party. We have done a wonderful party that was at the beach. We've done some for the church organizations at their location. We've done some at daycares, and of course at residents in their backyard, in their home. As an event planning company, we can come in and we redesign that whole environment to make it look like a spa oasis. Well, what makes us different from the competitors is that most of our girls are licensed in makeup, hairstyling, and cosmetologists, as well as myself. In addition to that, we're in it as a ministry for self-confidence, to build self-awareness, designed for young girls to be visionaries in the future. We just felt that there was a need and a demand for the young girls, our teens, our tweens, and our younger generation. There isn't anything that's specifically designed for them. Many of the categories that are out there are really male-induced, from jumpers, sports. There's nothing that's really specific for just being a lady. Our model is the ultimate girl experience. Before a party ends, our daughters turn around to their moms and their dads, and they say, this has been the best experience and the best day ever. So our moms and our dads are our heroes, and we bring that to fruition for them to give their daughters that best experience ever. We are excited to celebrate with you your daughter's birthday or special occasion. Our parties and spa parties are the ultimate experience. So please give us a call today so we can make that celebration happen for you.
All right, awesome. So you guys can see, And actually, let's see. Let me see if this actually did launch. No, it didn't. We just launched that website this morning. Just trying to see if it's propagated on Google yet. Lovely Little Ladies. No. Okay. No, that hasn't propagated yet. But essentially, you want to have a video, branding and written content. That lady's branding's a little over the top. It's a little crazy. Of course, she's working with little girls doing birthday parties and stuff, so it's going to be a little more flagrant than someone like Jeff Wilson or Cosmic Solar or something like that. So we want to make sure that your branding is on point. SEO again. Send your information over to Morgan if you have any questions about on-page or off-page SEO for a specific business. We can do a little analysis for you on that. And then lastly is going to be the advertising piece. When you're talking about advertising, you got to see that. And actually, if you want to share, again, it comes into the video aspect of things. If you want to share, Morgan, the Cosmic Solar video that we just did, again, when you're talking about not only your branding, but your advertising piece, I think video is going to play a big part in that because a lot of people are only responding to video ads for the most part. So if you can pull that piece up. This one's, again, a little over the top too, but we can do something a little more tame. But doing over the top stuff is kind of fun. And I think if you're a business, if you're not doing something a little over the top, then you won't stand out as much as you should.
It's Super Roofer here with Cosmic Solar and Roofing, and today we're here to repair roofs. Another day, another roof. If you would like a free roofing quote, call the experts here at Cosmic Solar and Roofing today.
Cool. And so that looks like, that's my presentation. I want to leave like 10 or 15 minutes open for questions, or if you guys had any specifics or anything like that, I guess we could unmute everybody and, feel free to, fire away.
I have a question. Have you ever had a Facebook ad rejected?
Yes, plenty of times. I would say, especially when you're talking about health and beauty, you will get Facebook ads rejected very often because of body image pieces. So that's why, especially if you're doing video, it used to be where video did not get rejected very often because their bots couldn't really scan the videos. They could only really scan the photos and the text. But the first thing I always look at when it gets rejected is the text too big? Facebook hates it when you have a whole lot of text on the ad itself, because that's not what Facebook's for, especially Instagram. That's not what it's for. Also make sure that, it's not going to have any body image things that are going to be industry specific. I mean, we've done Botox ads on Facebook, but because they're edited properly, B Barbie Aesthetics has great ads running on Facebook, and they do an awesome job. Whereas we've had dentists before where someone just smiles or something like that, and that's considered a body image thing. So it's really going to be working the algorithm. Was there a specific circumstance where it got rejected, Carolyn?
Yeah, it was considered a socio-political ad, and it's for an orphanage in Tecate, Mexico. We're trying to raise funds. So
okay,
we raised all kinds of issues. I went through the confirm identity. I am so frustrated with Facebook they're the last platform I ever want to see.
They can get very frustrating, but that's because they've been under a lot of scrutiny, especially because I would say this is, and was this something recent too?
Yeah, it's ongoing right now. And then when they sent me my letter, I got the code, I put it in, I answered all the questions they gave me correctly, and they came back and said, we can't confirm your identity. I was ready to be.
Now it's funny because after November, that ad's not going to be a problem anymore. It's during election seasons. Facebook really tightens up its its ability to run ads. So they're actually, because of the whole Russia thing that happened in the last election, people are like, oh, Russians bought like 10 grand worth of Facebook ads and they're subverting the election. They're really cracking down on who can buy ads and how you run ads during the election season. After the election season, that shouldn't really be that big of a problem. But if you do have a really big issue with it, or if you do want a little bit of help, feel free to give us a call. I can have, or if you want to sit down with Mike and Artie, show them the problem. They could probably show you what to do in like 10 or 15 minutes, and the problem should be taken care of. Especially if it's for something like an orphanage or something like that. I'd be glad to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, and now I can't do anything because supposedly they can't confirm my identity, which is absolutely incorrect. It's just
are you actually Carolyn?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not just a very, very good mask? I'm questioning your identity at this point as well. I mean, Facebook's not off.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do. I answered all the questions correctly. If there's no other answer.
Now, the really fun part about us too is when you are working with an agency, we are Facebook Blueprint certified. We do get a direct line to Facebook, whereas I know most people get like a little chat. And if that's something that, we might be able to help you out with, again, feel free to, reach out or shoot us an email about it. And I'll shoot that over to my ad staff and we can see if we can help you out.
Okay.
But yeah, that can be very annoying. Facebook denying ads happens all the time. And it's not like there's a number you can call and be like, no, I'm Carolyn. This is my identity. I'm not Russia trying to run bot ads.
Yeah, there's no communication with them. It's just really frustrating. It's actually the worst run company I've ever met.
Well, I would say that, they're the top two when it comes to advertising for small business, unfortunately.
I know.
But believe me, Yelp's a lot worse.
Oh,
yeah, Yelp's got Facebook licked on a lot of those things.
Well, I can't imagine.
Is there any other questions? Anybody else? Bueller, that's it?
No more questions.
Okay, cool. Well, that's all I've got. And if you guys, and also anybody who is on this call, if any of you guys do want to drop by our office, check out our studio, meet our team, anything like that, we're actually right in the Tri-City area here. We're right off the Emerald exit on Vista Way. Feel free to stop by. I've got some pretty cool cold brew, because it's hot. Hot coffee would probably stink. But yeah, feel free to, set up a time to come in. And if you have any questions or your buddies have any questions about, what, their digital online presence is or how we can work with it, keep in mind, we're not just here to, sell someone a website or something like that. If there's anybody in the community we can help, if we can be a chamber resource for anybody in the chamber, just helping them with their business, and we can do what we can, for sure. We're always willing to help people out. So.
I put my email in the chat. If anyone wants a report, just send me an email. It's morgan@GoBeRewarded.com.
And Erin, thank you so much for being here today. It was awesome. I mean, you covered great topics, so I really appreciate it. And thank you.
Awesome. Oh, I got a thumbs up from John Beetham there. Sounds good.
All right.
All right. I will talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks again.
Erin, thanks. See you soon.
Thank you.